Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. I'm Zemo, the dad in DPS, and today we're back with another episode of Scrip My Pants, a series where I spend 2,000 scrip at the purveyor and see what I'm going to get, and this loot goblin is ready to roll. And with the coming of the crafting system in the near future, or if this video is delayed and gets released later, the current crafting system, we are looking for not only good items, but we're looking for things to scrap to get modules for, weapons like, special effects, that kind of thing. Either way, guys, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and yeah, let's get on with this. Alrighty. Another day, another set of script to spend. So we're going to spend 2,000, see what we get. First up, we've got a Stalker's Short submachine gun with action point cost and the action point reduction. The action points with each kill. The only good effect on here, as far as I'm concerned, is the action point cost. This, unfortunately, will be scripted back into the machine. This is the kind of problem with this thing, is you always find script. Next up, we've got the Troubleshooter's Assault Rifle with, again, replenish action points with each kill and reduced weight. Again, scrippity, script. Nothing's really good about that. Assault Rifle isn't a particularly based gun in the world, but with those effects, I'm really not going to be keeping it. Ooh, this one's actually not bad. So we've got anti-armor, pipe revolver with critical damage and 1 agility. Now this is very close to being a form of a god roll for the pipe revolver, and I actually quite like the pipe revolver. Best effect on there would either be the AP reduction or the additional crit charge effect, but in the next patch that might be something I can mod to have that. So that potentially a weapon that I'm going to keep. Worst case scenario, I could always just scrap it and obviously get the armor penetration and the critical damage, but not a bad effect. And then the free agility at the bottom there is actually going to go, well, the 1 agility is going to go up to free agility in the next patch as well. So definitely not an unusable weapon. Definitely something potentially worth keeping. Stalker's single action revolver with last shot and reduced weight. Everything about this weapon makes me want to throw it at a wall. This isn't even worth scrapping. This is a script weapon. This is going back in the machine. Nothing there even excites me in the slightest. Then we have the Vampire's Missile Launcher with VATS hit chance, 1 agility. Vampire's a good effect, but everything about this weapon and the specific weapon it's on just makes me want to scrip it as soon as possible. So yeah, not very good pool. Zealot's Pepper Shaker, damage while aiming, and VATS critical charge. Now, damage while aiming is a decent effect, especially on heavy weapons, and the VATS critical charge is a very decent effect as well. Now, this weapon, unfortunately, isn't worth modding in the future. Even if I put the best effect at that top slot, I've still got a bottom effect that I'd want to get rid of. So this is something that I will probably chuck into scrapping in the future because there's 2 good effects on here and I definitely want those effects. Vampire's Fat Man with bash damage and reloading resistance. This is scrippity script. Why do I keep getting rocket launchers with freaking vampires today? I know it's not a rocket launcher, but it's close to it. So, Assassin's Short Combat Rifle with weapon speed and 1 perception. Now, unfortunately, Assassin's, very poor effect. Weapon speed, great effect. 1 perception, not the best. This one is... It's light enough that I could put it away to scrap later on, but at the same time, I don't know if it's entirely worth it. This might be just a script weapon, in my opinion. Yeah, let's just say script. Executioner's double barrel with limb damage and 1 agility. Now, limb damage is actually okay on shotguns. It isn't necessary, but it's an okay effect. 1 agility is not the best either. Executioner's is a great effect, but again, not really the best for this type of gun either. Overall, I think that's another script more than anything else. Aristocrat's minigun with last shot and faster movement speed while aiming. Aristocrat is a good effect. Faster movement speed while aiming on this type of weapon is actually not bad. Last shot on a weapon with a capacity of 500 rounds. Yeah. Probably gonna scrap it. Yeah. Instigating Railway Rifle with replenish action points for each kill and damage resistance while aiming. Now, instigating on a Railway Rifle is actually incredibly deadly because you do big bada damage in that 1 shot. So the replenish action points with each kill is actually quite good because every time you fire it, you're getting your action points pretty much back. So this is actually a decent combination. The bottom effect, not the best. I would probably put on reload speed there because this gun obviously runs out of ammo pretty quick. This could be a decent little one to use as just a single shot railway rifle, like as a kind of one that you could manually aim, that all that kind of thing. Yeah, it's not a bad little pull, but obviously not the most damaging version of the railway rifle you can have. But there's different playstyles to the game. Hunter's short handmade with limb damage and reload speed. Reload speed is the best effect on here. The other two effects make me want to vomit from my eyes. Everything about it just upsets me. You know, reload speed, good. Might keep it to scrap it, but, you know, Quad Flamer with bashing damage and weapon breaks 50% slower. Now this one's a decent little pull because that bash damage in the future I could change out for what's the word? Faster God, my brain just isn't working today. Faster fire rate or the damage while aiming. Though it says capacity 400. I think its capacity is already 400. Maybe that's bugged. Maybe it's still bugged. Are they fixing that in the future? We'll see. But, you know, the weapons break 5% slower is a decent effect on here. Quad, in theory, should be a decent effect on here, but we'll definitely see. Because I can't remember if the quad effect shows up on the bottom left or not. But either way, we'll figure that out. That's something I might keep just to use as a weapon that I could spam forever in the future. Furious, pump action shotgun, limb damage, action point cost. Furious is one of those effects that is actually decent, but at the same time, it's not as good as so many others. Limb damage, again, on shotguns is okay, and the action point cost is okay as well. This might be one worth scrapping rather than keeping, but it's at least scrap, if not scrip. Okay. Now, this is a really interesting one. Quad Alien Disintegrator with Last Shot and VATS Critical Charge. Now, Quad, great. VATS Critical Charge, great. That middle effect is not. However, and I do need to stress, however, in the future I'm going to be able to swap out that middle effect and put in something good in the form of faster fire rate, VATS Crit. This is actually a really good pick because of that, because everything else is good, it's just that middle effect that isn't, and that's going to be relatively easy to replace in the future. So that is a decent little pull. That is definitely going into the pile of things that I need to modify and change. So we will be keeping that for definite. Junkie's Gatling Laser with weapon speed and damage resistance while aiming. Now, this one's actually not a bad pull as well. Junkies is one of those effects that I think is due for a renaissance. I think they need to do something with Junkies as an archetype and build in general, maybe bring in some sort of armor, do some sort of thing to change it. But Junkies is not a bad damage type. 50% extra damage is not bad at all. Weapon speed, great. And the damage resistance while aiming, well, not the best effect I would put in that spot. It's definitely going to give you some damage resistance, so, you know, it's, you know, not bad. And you could always swap that out for something else. So this is definitely a decent little pull as well. Not a god roll, but, you know, not far off. Oh my. I like this one. So, Quad Broadsider with 25 weapon speed and resistance while reloading. Now, again, I would want a better effect than that bottom slot, like reloading speed, but in the future, this can be modified, and this could be something very, very fun. I would put reload speed in there and then just go and keep firing lots of cannonballs at people. Yeah, this is a good one. This is definitely a good one, and I will probably be keeping it to modify in the future. We've got 3 more to go. Executioner's Pipe Revolver, damage resistance while reloading, and VATS hit chance. Now, this one's actually an okay, like, Executioners and VATS hit chance are actually okay effects, especially VATS hit chance on pistols. Damage resistance reloading is kind of crap, but unfortunately I've got so many weapons that are much better than this that this isn't even worth keeping. Maybe worth scrapping in the future, but at the very least scrip. So yeah, it is what it is. Berserker's 10mm with crit damage and invisibility while hitting the target. Berserker's is one of those effects that I've just never used. If you're going to use it, I would heavily recommend a stealth build. So this could be like a decent stealth 10mm pistol, especially if you change that bottom effect at the in general, but I think what I'm more likely to do with it is script it, because I just don't feel like this is going to be used by me. I just don't use Berserkers, I'll be honest. And our last pick for today, Junkie's short pump action, VATS hit chance, and movement speed while aiming. Not the worst effect. Not the worst one. VATS hit chance is decent on a shotgun as well, and that faster movement speed while aiming, not the best at all. I would rather opt out for reload speed or some sort of crit chance stuff. Probably VATS, really good stuff because of that VATS hit chance. And again, Junkie's a decent effect, it's just not the best. Either way, let's find out what our top picks are. And I'm not moving because this guy's being a dick. Now, I think for today's first pick, we're going to go with the Junkie's Gatling Laser with weapon speed and the resistance while aiming. This isn't a bad weapon. This is certainly not a bad weapon. And replacing that bottom effect would make it, you know, a Junkie's Godroll. Junkies, it definitely is one of those effects that I think is going to get a massive change in the future, because it just needs to get something to put it into the usable kind of bracket. There's things that just overtake it so easily, like aristocrats and anti-armor, but when it comes to it, it would become more valuable if you had like some sort of Junkie's armor set to go with it. So, you know, I think Bethesda is doing a lot of reworks and changes and looking into why certain effects aren't getting used, and I hope this is one of the ones that gets some sort of buff or change to how it works, or things to make it work better added into the game. Next up, we're going to go for the quad broadsider with the weapon speed. Now, I love a quadsider. I really, really do. One of my first weapon videos, I'm fairly certain, was about a quadsider. And this one, I am going to mod and change into something far funnier than what it currently is. This is definitely going to be a cool weapon, and I really, really don't have to feel like I need to explain why. You know, quad, weapon speed, everything is lining up properly. And for the last pick of today, I'm going to go with the Quad Alien Disintegrator with Last Shot and the Critical Charge. And for the same reason that the Quadsider that we had there is here, this is here. That middle effect is going to get changed out for something really good. And I'm not fully certain what I'm going to want to put into it. I'm feeling Quad Crit would be the best alternative, and then just put on maybe like the automatic receiver and just see how well it goes. But yeah, this weapon's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to use, and I definitely look forward to experimenting with it later. I could even put explosive on it. I just realised there that could be another thing to put on it in the future. A quad explosive crit charge. Yeah, the possibilities are endless. So yeah, that was today's video, guys. And with the new patch coming, this kind of opens up a lot of optimism towards weapons that aren't quite where I want them to be, that have an effect that kind of make them borderline unusable, like things like Last Shot and whatnot. And this is the thing about the new crafting system, is that everything that I've had that is so close to being perfect is probably going to be perfect now. And I think this video encapsulates that. Like, I'm looking at weapons with a completely different perspective and going, I can make that better. I can make that greater. I can get a god roll out of this. And as a result, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And I am looking forward to this next major update so much. Either way, guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time in the Wasteland.
Feeling the heat, I'm taking a gamble, brain poker with the devil.